Street. And it's good that we have some time to sing some song together, to collect our energy to be here. As a community, it's a rare chance, maybe once a year or a few years that we meet together as OI member and also other friends, aspirants, and so on. So let us sing some practice song together to begin, and just some basic song. Why don't I invite us to sing song number 1, I Have Arrived, I'm Home. And we bring our awareness to this moment, this space. Feel that you are arriving and you are at home at the moment, surrounded by friends on the path and the community. Thank you. Offer us some flower. And I know we have been traveling today and yesterday. And yeah, a lot of things going on. And but feel that you have arrived to Blue Cliff Monastery, and we can use our breathing, our mindful breathing, just to come back to get in touch with our true home, ourself, this body. And we breathe as we calm and we let go of all the tension in our shoulders, maybe our arms and legs carrying the luggages and so on, moving around, the waiting, maybe some tension inside our mind. Yeah. So let us sing song number 2, breathing in, breathing out. I know that you know this song, so I want to hear you. Okay, the first song maybe you shy. Yeah. So this time, yeah, you are as our elder brother and sister on the path, so let's join us, okay?
Flower, I am fresh.
Let us really connect with our breathing. Yeah, allow them to bring us here and now, our home. Yeah.
So dear friend, this retreat we have English and Vietnamese speaking, so maybe some song we can sing in two languages. So for this song, we will sing in English first, and then we will sing in Vietnamese. Tomorrow we will prepare the Vietnamese version for you. So English speaking, if you interesting, you can sing with us. English and Vietnamese. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as the flower. I am fresh as the dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true, and I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. So now in Vietnamese. So for Vietnamese speaking, please sing along with us. I'm sure that you can sing this song. Nương tựa hải đảo tự thăng, chánh niệm là bùng soi sáng xa gần. Hơi thở là pháp bảo hộ thân tâm, năm uẩn là tăng phối hợp bên cạnh. Thở vào thở ra là hoa tươi mát, là núi vững vàng, nước tình lặng chiếu không gian thanh thang.
I wonder how many of you sing often at your Sangha? Very often? Every meeting, every Sangha meeting? Or somehow? So this is our chance to refresh and renew our young child within a playfulness. So let us sing, how you call it, a funny song. Song, I Like the Roses. Song number 10. Yeah. Okay, thầy.
This is announcement for Vietnamese Dạ kính thưa đại chúng, những người mình nghe tiếng Việt á, thì tại vì pháp thoại bằng tiếng Anh, nhưng người nào mà muốn nghe tiếng Việt có thông dịch thì xin đến qua cái góc bên đây để lấy tai nghe. Và and then I see the first row here like almost empty, and in this side we have a lot of empty space. Could you please move forward and move in this side a little bit, because lots of people will come later, so we have more space. Please.
Yes, for our friends who just arrived, we have a lot of seats near the altar. You can be close to the altar near the ancestors, okay? Okay. So song number 10, I Like the Roses. Huh?
So dear friend, this song we have some movement, hand movements. So please do with us. I like the roses, I like the daffodil, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hill, I like the tingling star when the sun goes down. Soupy doopy 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 doopy. I like the rabbits, I like the squirrel too, I like the bluebird, I like the robin's moon, I like all animals like me. Soupy doopy 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 doopy. Em yêu hoa hồng này, yêu hoa thì tiếng này, em yêu người đôi này, yêu sao ngon đôi nhấp nhô, lung linh ánh sao trên trời khi mặt trời đi ngủ. Doobie 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 doobie. Em yêu những nụ cười, em yêu tiếng ca tiếng đàn, yêu đôi chân nhẹ nhàng, đường về con đường thanh thang. Em yêu tiếng mưa rơi đều, mãi yêu sương một chiều. La 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 la.
Thank you. So this is just a warm-up, okay? So I expect from tomorrow, this playfulness, the joyfulness will come alive or manifest every time we sing. So come around 15 minutes early before our Dharma talk. We can sing together the water seeds of joy, seeds of freshness in each of us. So now we invite the brothers and sisters to come up to offer a chant before the orientation. Thank you, dear friend, for joining us.
Hello, dear friends. In this retreat, we have one group speak French. How many people? Could you please raise your hand that I know that? Okay. Do you need translation? Well, if you need, please go to the back and then you get the earphone. Then we will have the translation for French.
So dear respected Thầy and dear beloved community, this evening we have the opportunity together. We will chanting the name of the Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, the one with deep listening, with compassion and understanding. We were chanting in such a way we invite all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattva who stay with us in this retreat and help us to have successful on this retreat. And we also would like to bring Thầy insight to the future. And we will continue of Thầy, what he did. And we wish this retreat is make us to change our life, change the way we're thinking, and successful in our life. And when our brothers and sisters, we are chanting, if you feel comfortable, please join your palm. And together, we will send our spiritual to our chanting and bring peace to the world. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Wow, I'm just enjoying looking around. Take a moment to look around. It's just a packed house, lovely group. It feels a long time since we've been this many. I tried to find out. It turns out the number of people attending is impermanent. And there's about 208 of us Order of Interbeing members and aspirants. Of those, 22 will be receiving the 14 mindfulness trainings during this retreat. Yeah, why not? So if you're going to be receiving the training, stand up and let us welcome you, a special. Welcome, congratulations. Welcome to the community, full community. Thank you very much. And it's lovely to start to remember our land and where we came from and do a land acknowledgement. And I've asked my colleague, friend, fellow Sangha member, Laurie, to do our land acknowledgement.
Dear friends, dear Thai, dear Sister Chang Tong, I'd like to acknowledge that we are standing on the lands that were first stewarded by the Lenape people, who lived in harmony with the animals and plants and minerals of these territories, and that these lands were further stewarded and shepherded by successive waves of people who came to these lands by boat, by air, on foot, some willingly, some unwillingly, some seeking freedom from oppression, some seeking opportunity, all exhibiting great resilience, great perseverance in the face of struggle, all contributing to enriching the culture of our land, to enriching our understanding of each other. And we want to acknowledge that along with these contributions, there have also been many opportunities to experience suffering, great suffering that has been transmitted to all of us. And therefore we vow through our practice to take that suffering and transform it so that future generations may know a better and richer life on these lands. Thank you.
I always get emotional hearing that Valo, Namo Valo Kiteshvara. It just so much embodies our practice. As Lori was saying, that transforming our suffering and hearing and responding to the suffering of the world. So welcome again. We come from a lot of places, and we're going to, it's really curious, where's everybody coming from? And so we're going to find out, and it doesn't take too long. But I need everybody to stand up. That's going to start. And it goes like this. I'm going to go over to Angie and say, where do you come from?
Tampa, Florida.
All right, everybody who's from Florida, raise your hand and sit down. Okay? Where do you come from?
Ottawa, Canada.
Ottawa, Canada. Everyone who's from Canada, raise your hand. Lotta. And sit down. Where do you come from?
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Raise your hand. Thank you for coming, Sue. So where do you come from, meaning where are you living now in the historical dimension? Where do you come from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Raise your hand, New Jersey. Sit down. Thank you. Where do you come from?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. We have a lot of group from Massachusetts. Welcome. Sit down. Where do you come from?
Delaware.
Delaware. See, I've heard of that place. Who else comes from Delaware? Yes. All right, have a seat. Where do you come from?
Chicago.
Chicago. Illinois. Who comes from Illinois? You're by yourself here. Congratulations. All right, where do you stay these days?
Blue Cliff Monastery.
Blue Cliff. So if you're from Blue Cliff Monastery, raise your hand.
New York.
And sit down. Hello, Susan. Where do you come from?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Raise your hand. Okay, sit down. Where do you come from?
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Virginia. Virginia people, raise your hand. You know it. Sit down.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Yes, Rhode Island. Now I'm going to have to work the second row. Where are you from?
New York City.
So New York State, New York City and New York State. Wow, that's home. That's where all we are. Great. You're New York? No.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Okay, New Hampshire. We're getting there.
Oh, the best city?
That's the state you come in.
No, I come from the best city.
Oh, the best city.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Have a seat. We're getting there. Where do you come from? Montana. Great state. Montana. Have a seat. Minnesota. Midwest. Okay, have a seat. Marty. Maine. Okay. It's getting farther. Joyce, where do you come from? Hey, Maryland. Okay. Now it's getting close. Where do you come from? California. Wow. Okay. Vermont. We got it. Where's Pamela? Where's Vermont? Bruce. Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Okay. Vultur, where do you come from? Netherlands. Hey. Mary, where do you come from these days? Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Are you getting there? South Carolina. Sunshine State. All right, who's left? Mexico. Whoa, international contingent. Wyoming. Out there next to Montana. Anyone else? Wow, so look at all the places we came from. Terrific. Are we done? What? Oh, my Lord. Dear Sister Chang Gong. Where do you come from these days?
Blue Cliff Practice Center.
Blue Cliff back from here. You're living here. Everywhere, for Sister Chang Kong, everywhere she goes, she's at home. How wonderful. Thank you for being here. Okay, wow. So this sister, Brother Phop Kong and I were talking today that there's a usual thing they do here at Blue Cliff for orientation to teach you about sitting meditation and walking meditation and noble silence and mindful eating. But this group knows that. So we were trying to say, okay, what can we say that's a little different to this group? And so we decided we want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a member of the Order of Inner Being, of which a number of us, well, all of us here either are aspirants to or have already taken the 14 mindfulness trainings and been ordained for... You can't hear me? Is this better? Okay. So we're going to just speak a little on that. And in my part, I'm going to do it as a new technology for Blue Cliff, I think. I'm going to ask you to use your natural imagination, your natural intelligence. And because you have to imagine there's a screen in front of me, and I'm writing on the screen in black letters, or black ink. Can you see that? All right? Okay, so the way I wanted to approach this question is when I'm mentoring somebody, what is it that I'm looking for? When is it that somebody's ripe to be ordained in the Order of Inner Being? So on our imaginary screen, I want you to think about drawing a diamond-shaped figure. Do you all see that? Okay, it's just a simple diamond-shaped figure. And if you're writing things down, you can do it on paper. And up here at the top, I'm going to write embodying the practice. That's at the top point, right? You see that? I write in many languages. It's really great. Okay. And for me, embodying the practice means, do you live it? You know, it's not just, it's gone from your head to your heart and your body. Is it how you really are in the world? Have you been able to transform suffering? Are you able to cultivate joy? So I'm writing all those down next to embodying the practice. And I need some help here. So when I say embodying the practice, I need a few more words to write here. So can a few of you help me out? What would you write next to embodying the practice? Feeling joy. So cultivating joy, feeling joy. That was such a great songs we just did coming up. That's a great one. What's another way of embodying the practice? Compassion. So cultivating compassion along with joy. And acting. We're going to get to that because there's still 3 more points that have a lot of compassion in it. But that's a great one. Anything else on embodying the practice? Practicing nonviolence. Ahisma. That's terrific. Okay. So, next here, at this point over here, you remember the point over here? I'm going to write down Sangha building. And Thai often would say that anybody can follow the 14 mindfulness trainings. But if you want to be of member of the order of interbeing, you needed to have the desire and the capacity to build sanghas. That was really important criteria for him. And there's lots of ways to build sanghas. I mean, to create this collective container that we've all come through. There's so many skills of organization, of being, creating a space that people want to come to, of nurturing joy, cultivating joy, teaching nonviolence and compassion. And for those of us who have done this for a while and the Sangha starts growing, then you have a whole new set of skills to learn about organizing people and working with conflict and motivating people. So, okay, those are some things I wrote up here. What else are we can we put next to Sangha building? What would you write down as something important about Sangha building? Involving many people. So that's, and especially these days, we talk about being inclusive. So it's something that's open to everyone, right? Great, thank you, Marty. Using skillful means. So using skillful means to allow different ways for people to connect or to practice. We have 10,000 Dharma doors, and some really work well for us, and some keep slamming on us, it seems. And so we all learn the Dharma doors that work for us. All right, one more for building Sangha. I need some help. Safety? Safety. Creating a place that's welcoming and safe for all, so people can, without fear, share from what's on their heart. Okay, so very good. We got 2 of the 4. So what did we hear? Sangha building. Over here is sharing the practice. So we've started to talk about that. But that one of the qualities of a OI member, of a bodhisattva, of the Buddha, somebody was mentioning the other night that the Buddha became enlightened 2,500 years ago. And he could have just hung out there, right? He could have just said, this is cool, and I enjoy it. And, the people out there really aren't going to understand me, perhaps. So I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the fruits of life. But he didn't do that. He went back to his 5 buddies and said, let me tell you what I have just understood. It may help you. And so he was sharing the practice. So it means offering songs, Dharma sharing, counseling, modeling, mentoring, wordless practice, just by our energy, just by how we walk. I remember Ty talking about how sometimes at airports, he often got to the airport early and would do walking meditation, and people would start following him and just want to become his students just watching him walk, through an airport. So what else can I get some help with? Sharing the practice. What else can we write down next to that? Silence, that's a great one. Learning how to be silent. So, yeah, offering many opportunities for practice, whether it's days of mindfulness, retreats. In our Sangha, we have a Spanish-speaking group. We have a mindful art-making group. There's all sorts of ways to share the practice. I'll give a shout-out to my friend Pat Smith, who's not here tonight, but maybe listening online. But he was in managing a kitchen in nutrition and had a professional association. And he did a workshop on mindful kitchen management. And it's actually really fascinating. I figured out years ago that if you put mindfulness and a bunch of words into Google, you'll find somebody doing it. And so I put in dental surgery, right? And there's somebody offering a class in mindful dental surgery. and I put in horses and somebody teaching mindful horsemanship. So lots of ways to share the practice. So we're almost there. The fourth one, so we got my triangle here and wrote all this down. Okay, the one down at the bottom is service. So it's love in action, compassion in action. And one of the things I learned from Thai is that often you hear people making this, saying, well, you have to decide whether to practice or whether to be engaged in compassion. You have to choose one or the other. And he would say, no, that's dualism. That's a false dichotomy, that we've got to do both. I mean, and the path of OI, the path of the bodhisattva, the aspiring bodhisattva, is to do both. And we have Sister Chang Kong with us, who's been doing both for 70 years. I'll come here and tell you directly. I'm talking about doing both practice and service, and I was saying you've been doing both since you were giving food in the slums of Saigon, which is about 60, 70 years ago? You're 16 and you're now 86, 70 years, right? Yep. Long time. So Sister Chan Kong's been doing that for 70 years. Woo. So what are other forms? What else can I write down next to service? Supporting the monastic community, that we work together with the monastics to bring this practice into the world, right? Something else about service. Serving joyfully without preferences. Invoking the bodhisattva names, I always remember the line from Samantabhadra. Practicing joy on the path of service. Anything else? Stepping back rather than stepping up. It's such an issue of not falling into hierarchy and paternalism as we practice service. Being of service rather than fixing and things like that. You had one more? Seeing the oneness of all, seeing the humanness of everyone. And what I like about this, you remember this diamond, is that it's really just one thing, that these are 4 facets of the diamond, right? And it's one diamond, and so they all inter-are with each other, they intermix. We can't really do any of them well without doing the other ones. Thank you very much. Two more things from me, and then I'll turn it over to my brother. Oh no, we're going to do the exercise too. So what happens when you are ordained in the Order of Inner Being? And one of the things that happens is you get to wear a brown coat, right? And, my understanding, it's very much like a clerical ordination, that you really become part of clergy. And in Maryland, where I live, and in many states, you can marry people, and you're treated as a clergy by the state. So some things change, but not much. Really, if the mentors have done their job well and the people working with you, by the time you're ordained, you're already doing the things that an OI member should be doing. So the ordination is very much encouragement to practice. It's just wonderful. We love it. Keep doing it, because that's the situation most of us find ourselves. Oh, one other thing, that the people often tend to make a distinction between OI members and Dharma teachers and saying, Dharma teachers can teach, OI members can't teach. And I think that's a misunderstanding. And I know it's a misunderstanding, that we're all teaching. I mean, you can't avoid teaching because you're always teaching by who you are. And I actually had asked Thai years ago when I was first ordained whether I could teach a class. And his answer was, of course, you know, you're an order member. And so we can all teach. We can teach classes. We can, like my friend Pat, who is teaching fellow kitchen managers how to do that mindfully in whatever way we can skillfully, in a way that's appropriate to the practice, appropriate to the audience. And a good way, in my mind, to think of Dharma teachers is as elders, because it takes a while to become a Dharma teacher. Usually it's at least having 10 years in the order of inner being, so people inevitably become older in those 10 years. And, you know, there are people who have been recognized as doing what they're doing fairly well. But to be treated as an elder, as a mentor, as somebody who maybe can offer some advice, but without having a distinction that they can do something you can't do, in the sense of teaching the practice. When I became a Dharma teacher some years ago, one of the things Thai said during the ceremony was, Mitchell, your life is your Dharma talk. And that was that. I remember that. That was pretty powerful because there's no off time in that, right? It's not only when you're in front of people, it's when you're not in front of people. And it's hard. And I'm still learning how to do that. And I can say, I think, all the Dharma teachers I know are still learning. It's not as if they've, I don't know anybody who's stopped learning. I mean, in a sense, Thai kept, what was amazing is how Thai kept learning. And I love the book At Home in the World, where he talks about how much he learned from his exile. Okay, so now we get to take a break and talk to each other for a little bit. And I want you to, when I stop talking, to find one or two other people to talk to for a while. It's going to be about 16 minutes, so 3's a good group. And the question I have, is for you, what are the joys and challenges of the OI path, of the path of being an aspiring bodhisattva in your life? What have been the joys as an aspirant, as an OI member? And what are the challenges? And as I say, we'll have 16 minutes. You can talk among yourself how to break that up. You might want to do, for example, 5 minutes and 5 minutes, and then time to share what you heard. Or if there's 3 of you, 4, 4, and 4, and 4 minutes to share. However you want to do it. It's really good, if we can, to include monastics in our group. There aren't a lot of monastics, but please find someone to talk to. And it's like hugging meditation, that some people love this and some people it's not for me. And so if you have any hesitancy about this, that's fine too, that you'll be just sit quietly and enjoy your breath and enjoy your authenticity for feeling this is not something that feels comfortable to me right now. Any questions about that before we break into our groups? So the topic is the joys and challenges of being on the OI path or being an aspiring bodhisattva. Clear? So find your groups, and I'll invite a bell after about 13 minutes to let you know it's 3 minutes to go, and then at the very end. You gonna talk to somebody?
Huh? Yeah, go down, join the group or something. Can I show you your group? It's okay, I sit in the chair. Okay.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah.
Brother.
Angela.
Yes, Fred's wife.
Huh?
Fred Epsteiner's wife from Tampa.
Oh, okay.
You came in
Oh,
to
Angie.
consecrate
Wow,
it.
yeah, okay. Now I remember your
It's so good to see
Florida. Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
I don't know him really.
That's Milary. She's from Ottawa, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful. Okay. So you want to start? Joys and challenges. Do you want to start? Oh, sure. Okay. So joys have been having the opportunity to serve people, to build community. We have a pretty good-sized community in Florida, and we've had to build buildings and create programs and clean bathrooms and do a little bit of everything. And it's just been joyful because so many people kind of come looking for something to our community and they're suffering, and then a light goes on, and I do a lot of teaching, and then you see people just sort of get it and touch joy themselves. So that makes me happier than anything else, I think, is seeing other people. I think the biggest challenge for me has been my own personal practice, because I stay pretty busy doing stuff, and I really, until about a year ago, didn't feel like I loved meditation. I did it, and I have set hundreds of retreats, but I felt like I still wasn't healing everything within me and not touching that deeper place of awareness enough. And like I couldn't help people as much as I could because I wasn't touching it deeply enough myself, and that I needed to find time and blend it with service. And so I've been focusing on that the last year. I've done a lot more solitary retreats and doing some Tibetan Nundra work and things like that, and really have come to love meditation, love the practice, and my teacher's been, Fred, has been very supportive of that. And it's just really kind of turned me on the path to just never being tired, just it's very joyful. And I realized there was some self holding me back before. So I'm a work in progress. But,
thank you all very much for participating. And I've been fact-checked that my assumptions about the ordinees was incorrect, and Sister Wanim told me, no, Mitchell, there's 37 ordinees here, that we'll have some monastic ordinees, and I didn't look at the Vietnamese list, so the total is 37. And I'd like just to introduce Brother Phap Kam, who's been an OI member as a layperson for a number of years, and then midlife made the transition to becoming a monastic, and somebody I've known for probably 25 years and enjoyed, and it's his turn.
Can you hear me? Okay, hopefully it's better. Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. Okay. So thank you, Mitchell. Dear Thầy, dear Sangha. I'm very glad to see many of you from many years. I see in the back David Dimac, who is a very dear friend. When I was a lay friend practicing in Philadelphia, looking for Sangha to practice, he helped me with my practice a lot. And a lot of people throughout the years. So I thought I tried to make it a little bit more personal, but also I use a prop. I have a meeting with Mitchell around noontime, and we try to figure out what we're going to share. So what I share is I told the tale of the two teapots. I used to make a Dharma talk about the teapot is a Sangha. I think some years ago, and some friend remember and say that. So I think the first I'm going to bring a teapot. So we Blue Cliff sent 2 monks and 2 nuns to the first year memorial of our teacher in the Root Temple. And then after the winter retreat, we closed our monastery for 1 month. So we thought that maybe we use the opportunity while the monastery is closed, we ask permission to go to Vietnam and join the other monastics that are already in Vietnam. And we do 6 weeks of traveling to see different monasteries in Vietnam and meet our fellow practitioner monastic, and also sightseeing too. So when I was in Hanoi, in the north of Vietnam, there was a village they call Bac Trang, and they make wonderful pottery and clay product. And I saw there was a beautiful teapot, because we drink tea a lot in the monastic, you know. And it's the word drink your tea, uống trà đi. So I say, well, let me buy a few, and maybe I keep one for myself, and I will give gifts to different people. So to me, I think it's a little bit of more like showing off, you know, say, well, I have a teapot, and it say drink your tea. And of course, you know, every teapot already say drink your tea, because, you know, the purpose of teapot is to brew the tea so you can drink. So, but I think sometime among the friend, you can sit together in a group, and you can remind that, talk less and really take time to enjoy your tea. But really, in my room, actually, I'm using a different teapot. I put the rubber band so I don't break the lid. So in my room, I use daily glass teapot. This is a $14 teapot, so really it's very cheap. Nowadays they make it. What I like is the clarity of it. People say, well, you drink a certain tea, you have to know what temperature of the water you put in and how long you should leave the tea, the hot water in the tea. If I have a glass teapot, actually I can see the tea leaf develop and expand, and I can see the color of the tea. If I know the tea, I know by the color that the tea is ready to be poured. So for me, also the nice thing about the glass teapot is it doesn't retain the flavor. So actually I use one type of tea, I throw out, and I rinse it out, I put another tea I can drink. But the clay teapot, actually they retain the flavor, the essence of the tea. So actually it's harder to switch tea. So I think to me, and I reflect that there is a certain, I would say, ego thing about that. So I equated this glass teapot as the purity of the practice of our heart. Like you practice, you don't need any recognition. You just be deeply between your mindful breath and your mindful step. And you try to touch the ultimate dimension as much as possible. And on the other hand, you practice this teapot a lot more for recognition. I have this that say uống trà đi, yeah. So I think it's maybe a prized possession, maybe somebody would like to have it, maybe somebody. It's a little bit of having a relationship between people. But then when I practice for myself, I deepen my practice, I use this glass teapot. So sometimes it reflects a different side of my practice, just like different side of us. We practice sometimes to be recognized, to be the leader, to be the Dharma teacher, to be other things. But then we have to practice the basic of being ourselves, being true to our heart. So to me, it both, in my room, I think I use I would say 85% I use the glass teapot. But once in a while, I need to test this teapot to see how good people say, you know. So I use once in a while here and there. So to me, it reflects a different part of our practice that we need to practice. On the other hand, you can say that this one, it could be a learning intellect process. Like Mitchell said that when OI member and a Dharma teacher, sometimes you have to be able to learn the sutra. You have to be able to offer incense. You have to be able to invite the bell. You have to be able to learn. So you explain the Diamond Sutra, the Breathing Sutra, the Four Foundation Mindfulness, and it reflects about your how you say, your ego, your pride of knowing which Dharma Sutra to share with other people. And then it's necessary. It's a part of training. When you build Sangha, when you become OI, and you're trained to become a Dharma teacher. But then deep down, there are also a basic practice of how truly it's up to your purity of your heart, of your being, of your soul, how you practice it. So to me, it goes hand in hand. Often I'm reminded to practice this. Sometimes before giving Dharma talk, I have to read a lot. I think I haven't read all the Sister Chan Khong book yet. I have to read some more because she has plenty of things to offer. Even the Vietnamese newsletter, Lá Thư Làng Mai, it's thick as a book, you know. It takes forever to read all of them, you know. But yet it's necessary because sometimes when we want to share Dharma, we have to know more about what our teacher was sharing. So to me, it reflects both. And I have a funny story to share with you because Sister Chan Khong came, and then it was her birthday on April 9. And she came, so we organized, after the weekend, we organized a being in. So it said, all the monastic, please come to being in and bring your own cup. And so I came, and around the rest of the monastic, and actually they were celebrating Sister Chan Khong's birthday. So the sister brought the gift, I think it's osmanthus tea or something to Sister Chan Khong. And the brother said, well, where are the brother gifts, you know? And we say, well, I didn't prepare, you know? I thought it was a being in. So I quickly ran to my room, and I grabbed one of those teapots. So I proudly, the word proudly, you know, I brought back to her. I say, Sister Chan Khong, I went to the village of Bak Chang, and I have this teapot. It's a Ung Trà Đi, and I'd like to offer to you since the sister offered the teapot. And I didn't have a microphone like this, and probably Sister Chan Khong hearing weren't well, you know. So she said, why do you offer me the teapot that say, eat your curry? Ăn curry. And I said, no, the teapot say, uống trà đi. That means drink your tea, not eat your curry. So I think it say that the difficulty about using language. Once you get to use the language, it's very difficult. You have to use the language very carefully and sparsely and accurately and without your ego. Because most of the practice is to reduce your ego. Often the most difficult part of practice is how to reduce your ego. By expanding your compassion. I think Sister Chan Khong is wonderful. I admire her a lot because she's been doing everything to help other people. And sometimes I get tired from following her. And she's older than me, you know. But then she said that this is necessary to do, I will do it. I'm not afraid of, I don't worry about a thing. So to me, sometimes if you can sit in the cave and you say, well, I want to reduce my ego, it might not be possible because there's nobody challenge you, nobody asks you to do a lot. But I think when you interact with other people, you have a friction, you have disagreement, you have different, and you have to learn how to tone down and reduce your ego to help other people. So the practice of selflessness is very important. So to me, often, sometimes I have to practice this part of the teapot to really reduce my ego, to do for the sake of the Sangha, to help other people, and not think about too much about my pride, my intellect, my words, and nothing like that. So I think that's basically what I have to share with you this evening. Thank you very much. Would you like to do something to wrap up? Or, yeah.
Well, given it's, can you hear me? Given that it's an OI retreat, I expect we have the organizers with a number of announcements. So I think it's that moment. Right, And? Please come up here and I'll give you the microphone. First, we have the mindful bell.
So, I know everyone's tired, but so we won't take too long. First, how about some flowers for our teachers? Yeah. Very short announcements. Is Key here? Was there an announcement about trailers? No? All's good? Ah, great. Couple of short announcements were just reminders. We have teacups in the tea room across the road at the Sisters. If you use a cup, you'll see tape and magic marker. Just put your name on the bottom so you can keep reusing the same cup. That will save a lot for dishwashing. We have posted in various places around the monastery the schedule of our time together. That will also be posted every day on the whiteboard in the Sisters' dining room, so feel free to take a picture just so we practice being in the here and now, but sometimes we need to know where we need to be now. So let's see, and I think if you have not checked in for any reason, you can see Jean in the morning unless you need to know where you need to sleep tonight. But otherwise, I think most people have checked in. I was asked to offer a reminder. This is tick season. It's gotten warm, even if it felt a little chillier earlier today, so please take necessary precautions. The Sisters are going to put a couple of signs, reminders around the monastery, but tucking pants into socks if you go walking, checking for ticks. And I think have a bell for the teachers.
So we would like to invite everyone, please sit back down for, we divide for a smaller group, Dharma sharing tomorrow, and work in responsibility group.